So it is told that we meditate on the organ, the sense organ, and then the sense organ self regulates, as you also mentioned. Now, my question is, isn't the regulation done by the brain? Like the nervous system kicks in, the sense organs are just the receptors of the stimuli. And then the whole thing about the signaling, you receive something and it is converted into a particular signal, and then the brain recognizes and functions with respect to the biomagnetic wave of the mind. So can you please explain how focusing on tongue, for example, self-regulate my need for taste, or I will be aware of my need for eating mindfully? Thank you. Varugavalapadan.
Varikolavan Manisha. Good question. So I can explain this scientifically by using a double slit experiment. Most of you may already aware of. Long story short, how the double slit experiment works is, if you have a sheet and if there are two slits, if you fire the electrons or photons, if nobody is using any detectors on the opposite side, it creates a wave pattern. If there is a detector used on the opposite side, it creates a particle-like pattern, just like two patterns. That is the double slit experiment in short. I don't think anybody explained double slit experiment in such a short duration. How this happens? In world, everything is waveform, biomagnetic waveforms. When we focus our attention is a form of a biomagnetic wave. We can call it as an electromagnetic wave. It's made up of photons, etc. So when you use the photons to detect that biomagnetic wave, that results that biomagnetic wave to become a particle. This is the wave particle duality discussed in the scientific field quite vast and quite extensively. During this Panchendra meditation, say for example, as you have said about the tongue, if somebody is sweet tooth, if somebody knows that excess of sugar intake is not good, but they got so much attracted in taking sweets, and by the time they recognize they are taking the sweet, the leg walks to the fridge and takes something sweet, and then halfway through the eating they understand, oh, I should not have avoided this. If somebody has this problem, or somebody has a established diabetes and then they want to really cut their sweet tooth, by performing the Panchendra meditation, and Tarunji has done a very nice explanation of the Panchendra meditation today early, we are able to focus our biomagnetism on the tongue. That literally improves the efficiency of the taste and also control over the taste. Next time when the same person, when they do the Panchendra meditation periodically for long term, when they get the urge for the taste, the biomagnetic potency will give them a kind of a control, and they should be able to control their senses without succumbing to it. This is the early stage. In later stage, once they are able to control the senses, the unnecessary childish craving from the senses gradually comes down, and there is no need to control also. It becomes so automatic, their interest towards the sweet craving gradually diminishes, and they are able to handle it in a very comfort manner. So Panchendra meditation works in different levels. Early, it just gives you or empowers you for controlling. Later, automatically the organ understands which is correct and behaves in a very automatic mode. It is not entirely like brain control, I will say. I will take it in the form of a subtle body, where your subtle body's biomagnetism is focused on the Panchendriyams, making them stronger, making them into the correct harmony, giving you the ownership and control, and later the Panchendriyam works automatically in a correct fashion. You will be able to come out of problems like increased craving for sweets, for example, or smoking, and wish to see a movie or something like that, getting addicted to TV serials, or constantly hearing music while you yourself feel like, I don't know why I'm hearing so much of headphone usage and music. It disturbs me, but when I'm traveling, I can't drive peacefully, calm without the music. So those kind of things we will get out of it. And the skin related sensations, including the increased sexual interest, can be controlled by that. That's how the Panchendriya meditation works, by enabling your biomagnetism to initially empower the Panchendriyams. Later the Panchendriyams will establish in a very sattvic mode. வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
Doctor, does the heart and the brain generates more biomagnetism in the body, the human body?
Yes, obviously. So how this biomagnetism works is, biomagnetism is a part of the whole life. Okay, and if you take heart, it is nothing but, historically or in the Siddha's world, it's the Anakata Chakram. And brain is the same of what we discussed, like Agna Chakram or Turiya Chakram. So automatically the chakras are dominant based upon what we need. If somebody is very heart oriented, like for example going for a kind of a place where you donate food, donate money to a temple, or do an event of helping someone, obviously your heart will become more powerful. So this chakras, once you do the meditations, there are so much of meditations Maharishi has given us. We are really flooded with meditations. The biomagnetic energy available in the heart and the brain will become so high. You are able to have a very strong altruistic life. You are able to have the strong heart to face the hardships in the life. You are able to have a very clarity.
Yeah, my question: why only these two parts generate more biomagnetism?
That's what we need, no? So normally,
other than the other, we have kidneys and other organs too. Why don't they generate more?
Yeah, it's a priority.
Biomagnetism.
It's a priority, physiological priority. Say, for example, in a human being, if the heart stops, like cardiac arrest, the man dies in 3-4 minutes. If the brain stops, the man goes into coma. So these are the more prime organs compared to a kidney, where if the kidney stops, you will be not producing urine, but you will be fine for 4 weeks, 6 weeks. And we have the external apparatus like dialysis, which can balance out. And if there is a acute problem, we can treat it also. If there is a problem in constipation, 3-4 days, it's okay, but 4th day onwards we should be able to repair it. While for heart and brain, it's only like minutes. That's why acute stroke and acute cardiac events are really quite detrimental to life. So we need few organs to be much more important. That's why the biomagnetism works more in those organs, to make sure that particular living being live longer and healthier. That's why we give lot of importance to Anagata Chakram and Turiya Chakram during the meditation.
Yes, thank you, Ayya. Ayya is talking.
Ayya,
am I audible?
Yes, Ayya.
Right. Anandan is giving, as usual, too much of information which are important, which will help you to meditate deeper. See, the Panchendriya meditation always instructs, evinces deep interest, because I have gained some experiences in my father's shop. He is a cloth merchant, and his service was 60 to 70 years of experience in handling the clothes. And just by touching the cloth in between the fingers of the hand, he will be able to get a lot of information. That is, what is the thread like? Is it normal or spin? The single thread, when made to spin with 2 or 3 they become stronger. And just by touching the cloth, the weaver will be able to tell whether it is 100 counts or 80 counts or 60 counts by just touching it. And above all, surprisingly, Manisha will be interested to know that just by touching the cloth, they will be able to say whether the weaver was happily successful in his personal life, was comfortably placed with a reasonable income and all. If he was in poverty, then the person who touches the cloth will be able to say that the weaver was in difficulties, he was not able to meet both ends, and so much so. If it was woven in a happy composures, then the person who has the ability with Panchendriya meditation will be able to tell whether the individual was happy, the weaver was happy or in difficulties. So that is one thing which I have seen personally. And though it may take some more time, I think for the sake of the information I can tell. My father's shop is a handloom cloth merchant shop. So hand woven dhotis and this thing. Coimbatore is also famous for the handloom weavers. One particular sect, Devanga Chettiars, they used to specialize and their work was appreciated so much. So these people will come to my father's shop on a Deepavali day. Deepavali day, the full night, the shop will be kept open and there won't be much crowd. But these people are select weavers in Coimbatore who have so much of dexterity with them, and they will come and sit. They will come in a group of 10 or 12 weavers, top weavers in the city. They will come and they will examine the products given by father, and their expertise is so much that they will be able to tell what cotton was used in the production of it cloth and what counts, whether it is simple or the combed yarn, all those details, and psychologically also whether they were happy or not, and all by touching the cloth they will be able to tell. Probably there is the imprints in the yarn reflecting their lifestyle, their affluence or these things, and that the viewer's mind is getting mixed with the yarns, and as they are weaving, their emotional pattern also gets imprinted, and that is if you are doing the Panchendriya meditation and your hands become so sensitive that you will be able to get all these informations. And this is in response to how the sensations develop so much. And in taste of when we meditate on the tongue, we not only understand the taste better, we also get control over the amount you are taking. If you are eating more, then automatically you will develop a ability to control overeating and select your food stuff according to the needs of the body. That is also said. Like that, this Panchendriya meditation has attracted my curiosity to a great extent. And when we meet people with dexterity, with the skill in their respective areas, how much of this thing they can get. If you are again going back to the weaver cloth, if the expert meditator is able to focus on the yarn, the thread there, and also the imprints in it, he gets the door open to see the quality of his living. And this is something you get with concentration. You can zoom out to a particular aspect of the viewer's life and see how it is, and how we are able to get this much of a specialization and the abilities to understand all these things. Ananda was telling that by concentrating on the astral body, you will be able to see the personality of the individual. Is it so, Ananda?
Yes, sir, yeah. So it works by the basis of biomagnetism, and which works again by the astral body. Astral body or the subtle body is the one works by biomagnetism, while the physical body works by the tissues.
See, it is just like zooming a particular point in a map or in a diagram. You get more and more information on zooming. Similarly, with the ear, if the jnani is, the siddha is just listening to the voice of the individual, then they can tell volumes about their family. All these things are there. And when I wanted you to talk on this topic of meditations and I was asking you to talk about the ability of the meditator gaining mastery over and the meditation as a way of life to attain the aim of life, the main purpose of living, to get moksha, to become one with the divinity. Meditation, how it helps. I was interested to see that in a biomagnetic field, the waves are classified into beta, alpha, theta, delta. And there is in the biomagnetic field, there is a gradient of the velocity, the frequency of the spin, the wavelength, and also the energy particles there. The lighter ones, which are of less mass, and the DDPs are the energy particles with lesser weight, faster spin, and high wavelength. The high frequency, they all are confined to the periphery of the spinning system, whereas close to the axis, the center of the genetic center, you get the delta frequency. Just like the faster one orients to the periphery, the slower ones gravitate to the center. So in the region along the Sushumna, they have very slow frequencies, and the energy particles or DDPs, they are more bigger and they are heavier, and the interparticular distance in the biomagnetic field is least, and since the frequency in the delta region is 4, 3, 2, 1, and the fractions of 1. So they are very much less and slow. And the center of the biomagnetic field as the intensification of the center takes place, and the density comes very much high, and this gives a special character to the biomagnetic field around the axis of the biomagnetic spinning system. So if we look into the delta frequencies, the life force particles which are taking part in that frequency have the speed which is very much less, almost coming to a standstill, the 0 and less than 1 frequencies. And in that, the spinning and the movement of the energy particles come down, they almost come to a standstill. They lose their spinning nature, and they become space, and they become magnetism. So when there is a delta frequency there, the energy particles, life force particles in the energy LFP, life force particle wind system, they almost have least frequency, and the central area is acting like a black hole, absorbs, sucks everything into it, and the spinning system collapses and it becomes a space there. Everything that is sucked into the black hole becomes a space again, and that is all the properties of the particles there. Because of the density and the slowness of the frequency, there is more of absolute space than the area occupied by the energy particles or life force particles. So this predominance of absolute space in the life force particles in the delta region that favors a higher percentage of absolute space and lesser and lesser percentage of space occupied by the particles there, life force particles or energy particles, or the ratio is in favor of absolute space. So proportional to the increase in the absolute space percentage, the divinity of the particles increases. And when it is the area occupied by the particular representation is very much less, it may favor the predominance of absolute space as against the particular space. This increases the divinity of the particle at that area, and naturally he becomes more divine, and at a particular stage the divinity wins over and he become identical with the absolute space, and which is where Maharshi says, உன்னுள்ளே நான் விளங்க என்னுடைய நீ விளங்கி உனது தன்மை அறிய எனது உள்ளம் தூய்மை பெற்றேன். And the divinity in the practitioner, successful practitioner, is so much so that his manifestation, his activities all resemble that of the successful practitioner, the more divinity exhibited in constitution and manifestation. So ultimately she is more drawn towards the absolute space, and this we can call the salvation or the moksha of the individual. In this way, the meditation at successful deeper levels, higher levels, where the constitution of the particles space all change in favor of absolute space, then you get the aim of life of becoming identical with the divinity. So this is what I wanted to tell to the participants. Is it clear, Ananda?
Yes, Ayya, very clear, Ayya. Especially the Turiyam and Turiyatita meditation really makes us to get amalgamate with absolute space, as you mentioned, Ayya.
Yes. That is it. How? There is no other way of purifying our own selves with the way of living. This meditation just changes the field totally in favor of the divinity. So I think that this is a less stressed or less understood aspect of meditation.
Yes,
We have Dr. Devi. Swatantra Devi.
வாழ்க வளமுடன், Rabi. Yes,
Yes.
whatever you said is true, and you have explained the same thing so many times. So I think all of the participants would be aware of it because we've gone through it so many times. Yeah, what you say is true, that like Ananda said in Turiya and Turiyatita, that state where you get amalgamated with the higher self. But how to get to that stage? how to bring about that union and how to bring about, see, yoga is chitta vritta nirodha, that is silencing the mind. So the techniques of just we say you concentrate on Agnya, but then you just become aware of so many thoughts, and then there should be some system whereby you can reach a little higher, higher and higher, making the mind's thought process is the mind. So making the thought process slower, and that is how you will be able to go, and that is how you will be able to make the speed, change the speed of the particles. So that is what is the thing we have to teach.
Isn't it?
So, but what are the techniques to achieve that place? What are the steps by which you go? What are the things you have to do? So that is why there are so many techniques of meditation. So you have to understand the goals and objects of meditation, and instead of just sitting with an eyes closed, what are the steps you have to do? How to bring down your thoughts? Because Maharshi said, "Manathai adakka mudiyadu, ariya muyandral adangum," he says. So you have to learn about that, and then the breath also has a very important part in that. So by concentrate, then if there is an object of concentration, of course, first you have to initially, the object of concentration may be outside. Then that is easier for beginners. And as you go, you have to leave that and then start taking the internal objects, like the feeling of love, compassion, and then these five senses. And then you go to the Panchabhutas and then Panchendriyas. So like that, if you go one by one, but anything you concentrate, then you try to decide the origin of it. So that is how you just go step by step and then into that. Then I think the beginners and the learners will get a better understanding, and they will progress faster in meditation. That is what I feel. Instead of telling them just this speed of the particles and all that, yes, that is true, but how to make them understand that? They may understand it theoretically, but practically, how will they come to bring about that change? So that's what we should teach the students, I feel. Well,
Well, in theory, you will put it into practice. You may become successful meditator. Work hard. There is another point. There is another point also, which is attracting more of my attention. That is the universal magnetism and the biomagnetism in a meditator. What happens to the fraction of the universal magnetism and to the biomagnetism? This is the Parama, the universal, is out of question. It is a predominance maximum. And the biomagnetism is a tiny fraction, and it is the weaker also combined to that. When we make a connection to the universal magnetism and the biomagnetism through the process of meditation, there is a connection established between the high player, the universal magnetism, and the energy gravitates to the micro, and the amount of energy trickling from the universal field to the biofield initially will be so less, just like that of a silver thread. With practice, it may increase. And I feel that instead of slowing down from beta to delta, we can also increase the amount of energy we are universal magnetic energy we are drawing into the body is more. We can, with practice, we can absorb more energy. The quality of the energy also is represented by the tanmatras and the saptatadus. The seventh tadu is the sexual vital fluid. And if we are to get the energy from the sexual vital fluid, then it will be something unimaginable. That much of energy can get to. If we can interpolate with the amount of success a meditator, a ordinary practitioner to the one who has attained Siddhi, they may be drawing the vital fluid straight into their body, whereas we may be just feeling the presence of the universal magnetism above our biomagnetism. So the practice can be improved to that extent, at a different level, where we can achieve so much of changes in the meditator from ordinary person to a jnani, maharishi, and tattvajnani, everything. வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
வாழ்க வளமுடன். This is Ashwin.
Yes. Yes.
May I have a couple minutes to talk and ask?
Sure.
All right.
Without that,
thank you.
Without that sanction, meeting is not complete.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Anand Kumar. Your presentations are always interesting, educating, and highly informative.
Thank you.
And I always enjoy that. I have two things. One is to add to what you and Dr. Ravindra answered to Manisha's question, and then I have some question. So, in relation to Manisha's question, and I may be saying the same thing that you already have said, but maybe in different language. So, the ultimate aim of the meditation that we do is to develop the awareness while being one with the entire universe, the infinite absolute. When we develop the awareness, we also develop the understanding and the revelation of the cause and effect system of the nature. So, using the same thing in a Panchendriya meditation, when you are meditating on one particular indriya, you are developing the awareness of the functioning of that indriya and the cause and effect systems related to the functioning of that indriya. And the life force, as we all know, that remains or that functions to maintain the charge, stock, and consumption using these five senses. And balancing the five senses is very important and very critical. So when you do the meditation, the Panchendriya meditation, you are developing the awareness of those indriyas functioning, and the meditation also helps you get rid of the bad habits, because the meditation also helps us in developing the wisdom based on the cause and effect system of the nature. So that's what the benefit is related for the Panchendriya meditation. We also learn or we also develop the awareness of the limit and method principles related to that indriyas. So that way it helps uh, uh, developing the e- equilibrated functioning of all these five senses in order to have the life force uh, that works based on the charge, stock, and consumption aspects. So that's what I wanted to add. Now, the question to Dr. Anand is that you presented that there were 9,500 and some participants. So, in this study, have the uh, the bias of ethnicity, culture, environmental effect, religious effects, uh, geographical effects, just like the way you do in allopathic science for different medicines, how the medicines works. So has that been included or has that been um, analyzed or not? That's what I wanted to know. And also, like in USA, we have Food and Drug Administration, so you have to get approval through that. So when we do and this studies related to meditation, what are the barriers to convince the Food and Drug Administration type agencies who are approving all these treatments or approaches or whatever you call it? If you have some knowledge about that, please share with me. The other thing is, I just lost the chain of thought. I'm sorry. But please go ahead now, answer my question. Thank you.
Yes, you're correct. The study did got the permission from the ethics committee, and as you can see, I've shared the study slide again. It's total of 9,538 patients or participants, but it is a meta-analysis, so it's an amalgamation of 111 randomized study. If you take even 100, you can see easily that every study has got only like 90 to 95 participants. So it's an amalgamation of multiple small studies. So obviously we can't say that this meta-analysis is looking into patients who are nicely balanced with culture, ethnicity, etc. But individually, maybe some studies are very Hinduism oriented, many studies are Buddhist oriented, lots of studies were transcendental meditation oriented. But what is happening is in these Western studies, which were appropriately got the ethical approval and presented in the form of like a medicine study or a clinical intervention study, they try to maintain the secularity and they never discuss something like this is a Buddhist origin, this is of like Hindu, Siddha origin, etc. They maintain the modern scientific worlds like mindfulness based cognitive therapy or cognitive based therapy, etc. And so the participants are not biased with respect to, oh, this is something like alternative medicine, and the patients were advised to have the study almost like they are having a study on placebo comparing with paracetamol, placebo comparing with immunotherapy, etc. So that's why they are able to come out with these kind of good outcomes. The barrier, as you correctly mentioned, is the ethical divisions and also the individual spiritual differentiations. And also, if you believe that something is going to work, the meditation will work beautifully. So that itself will swing the ladder towards the good end of the meditation outcome. While even if you perform meditation quite meticulously without proper faith or belief, the outcome may be slightly lower, because the belief and faith have got direct correlation with our biomagnetism. That's why these meditation-based studies are not like the medicine, injection, surgery, intervention-based studies. There should be also a kind of an acceptance and approach with neutrality so that we will see the outcome. That's why in my presentation I never said that all the meditation studies showed everything is rosy and good. The studies also clearly proven that there are few things like speed of performance not much improved, while accuracy and ability to focus improved a lot. While the heart health improved a lot, the carotid artery intimal thickness didn't improve a lot. So there are few factors which the meditation didn't show a very good outcome, possibly because the numbers are less. And if you are able to do 1,000 patient study focusing only on carotid intimal thickness and also focusing on a kind of kindness towards everyone and not creating an inflammation within the body. So science thinks inflammation is only like white blood cells, neutrophils, leukocytes, while spirituality says inflammation is nothing but self-hatedness or hatedness towards the community or family or friends. So if you are able to remove those kind of hatedness, medically also we can prove the inflammation is getting down and the carotid intimal thickness will get down. And that's why the meditation won't work on its own. It should be also go along with like Kaya Kalpa practice to improve the biomagnetism, Aindil Alavumurai to control the bad habits, introspection to know one's own behavior, and that's why the Maharishi has given the complete package. In that package, meditation will really outperform, and as mentioned by both Dr. Devi and Dr. Rabi Ayya, it will be the only way to understand and get amalgamated with the absolute space, which is the only way we can overcome the karmic imprints and have a blissful, healthy, long, satisfied life. வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
Thank you.
Dr. Ananda, I have one more question if no one else has.
Yes, Manisha.
Yeah, so this is regarding the mirror meditation, which is taught as a part of the introspection series. So it says that in mirror meditation, your biomagnetism increases manyfold, and also when you experience your image, going away or fading, it also means that it's a depth of concentration, or as if your soul is projected, something like that I heard. Whereas when I was just researching that what happens when you focus your image and it fades, there is something called Troxler's effect in science, which says that when you observe a particular area for a continuous period of time, the brain, the neural network, takes it as not important, and then the attention goes away and you don't really see it. So scientifically, there is an explanation of the image fading away, but then how do you relate it to an experience that a person is meditating deeply or their magnetism is increased? Like personally, I have felt my energy increases a lot after I do mirror meditation, to an extent that I was sweating and it was very, very hot. My body became very hot. But I want to understand that what happens in that period of time.
Yeah.
வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
வாழ்க வளமுடன். Scientifically, your explaining is quite correct, Manisha. So our body's biomagnetism is conserved, and our higher senses try to use the five senses in a very appropriate, rationed manner so that we are not wasting the energy unnecessarily. Say, for example, if you are reading a novel quite intensely in a train, at one point or even for few minutes you will never hear even the train's buzzing noise going around you. While your focusing from the novel comes off, your ear will start hearing the noise. Why a good feature film like for example Avatar in a good theater gives so much of happiness is the amalgamation of sensations from your eyes and ears, and maybe you may be eating a popcorn. Everything gives that very elated feeling which you can't match when you read a single sensory information like reading. As you correctly mentioned, When we are traveling and reading, the ears slowly, the biomagnetism is diverted only to the reading so that your ear sensations are not wasted in unnecessarily hearing the train's noise. Similarly, if you are doing the mirror meditation, the eyes is trying to see first what is happening, second trying to focus on what is changing, because that's how we evolved as a human being. When we are in forest, when caveman walking in the forest, when there are leaves and trees and everything, the focus is only on what is changing. Is there anything rattling in the leaves? Is there anything moving behind the tree? That is how the senses developed. So when there is a change, the focus will immediately go into that. When there is a noise, the focus will go into that. When everything is calm, the hunter will just walk on. So similarly, in a mirror meditation, since you are still and you are focusing on the mirror, if you go on focusing continuously, your complete image will fade because your eyes feel like there is no information, there is nothing changing. That's why in mirror meditation, it is the correct method is not just gazing for minutes and minutes. You need to gaze, close your eyes, imbibe yourself, understand the biomagnetism, and try to keep the biomagnetism conserving within yourself. That what gives you a good health and good improvement in biomagnetism. The mirror meditation, of course, I'm not supposed to talk these things over the Zoom. It should be done properly in person with help of a proper guru. But mirror meditation is not like focusing on a mirror for minutes and minutes, even after fading. It alternates with closing the eyes, imbibing the energy. The same thing for lamp meditation also. If somebody focuses on lamp continuously, even though it's a very controlled lamp, cotton wick, proper cow ghee, appropriately kept at a distance, whatever you do, you should close the eyes and try to conserve the energy. That's how you can conserve the biomagnetism and multiply the biomagnetism. And it should not be just an uncontrolled gazing, which can result in maybe untoward effects. That's what I think so. வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Dr. Ananda. வாழ்க வளம்.
வாழ்க வளமுடன். Manisha, this mirror image, the same thing, when you stare at the lamp or the light of the lamp, that is called tratak, that, isn't it? So this tratak, what you do is you concentrate on the flame outside, and then you close the eyes and try to visualize the same flame in the eyebrow center and hold it there as long as possible without it moving. Only when your thoughts move, the image will move. Otherwise, if you are able to bring it and keep it in the center without moving, then you're getting more and more successful in Tratak. So what happens is it's just a negative image of what we see. But the clarity and the perfection of that image which perceived in you will make the perception takes place at the very center of the brain. And this is supposed to open up your pineal gland or the third eye. See, this Tratak practice is one practice which is used to awaken or open the third eye. So, and you know that when the third eye opens, you get a lot of energy and you can contact with the universal energy and you get more of a biomagnetism, prana shakti, everything. So, that is how this mirror gazing and then especially the light gazing, it gives you real benefits, and you developed clairvoyance, telepathy, all those things also when you do it regularly for some time. So I used to do that when in my olden days, and I used to know exactly what, like today, I'll know tomorrow which medical representative is going to come, which patient may turn up tomorrow. All that I used to get, And then my guru said, don't get caught up with these things. Don't develop this. Just forget it, ignore it, and then progress. So that is how it is. It gives you real powers and real energy also of this. And Swamiji also has said it is Jiva Gandha Perukam. That is, you increased your life force energy of these practices. வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
Dr.
Ananda. Dr. Ananda, I have one small question.
Yes, here.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Ayya, I can hear you, Ayya.
Okay. So in lamp gazing, I understand that the energy, the heat energy converted to energy particle in wave form. That wave form we are observing through eye and goes into the body. So that mechanism I could understand in lamp gazing, but in mirror gazing, mirror meditation, the mirror image. So how the energy, how the energy from mirror image of ourselves, that energy, how we are taking and giving to inside to our body?
Yes,
Any
Ayya.
explanation on that?
Yes,
Similar
Ayya.
to lamp gazing?
Yes, Ayya. So in the Panchadya meditation of the five organs, one of the organ which is the most powerful in expending the energy is the eyes. And the amount of energy spent via eyes just by seeing a film or reading a book is so high. That's why there is a siddhar way by which you can give a diksha just by seeing as equivalent to a proper touching. We can imagine that moving closer to a person and touching we can do just by the diksha by using the eye itself. And when you are spending so much of energy by the eyes, the biomagnetism is spent or spread towards the mirror, and in the mirror it's nothing but your face and your body. So the understanding is we will feel as if our own biomagnetism is getting built into our own body, and when we close our eyes our body's image will stay with us for some time, and that will help a lot of biomagnetism to be spent on that. For example, if you hear a good song in the morning, sometime later in the day in the lunchtime you will feel that the song is playing in the background, and in the Western world they used to say, oh my god, that song got locked in my head, and you will hear the song in different places when doing different types of work. So similarly, this mirror gazing, since your face and your body is got locked into your biomagnetism, when you are doing some work or doing some other household chores, your biomagnetism will try to keep that in mind, and it's a kind of a introverted biomagnetic conservation, and that's how we are using our own eyes, which is a very powerful source of biomagnetism, to improve the biomagnetism energy within ourselves.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Ananda, by this argument which you were sharing, isn't it better to look at a master's image than instead of our own image? Because then we will be throughout the day remembering the guru's image and not ours, which is filled with impurities.
That is what the exact bhakti marga, that's what happening in the temple, that's what happening in lots of other followers also, where people have the picture of Rama, Krishna, or we have our own Mahrishi's picture, and there are various sages pictures, and when we see, we pray to them, we think that they are the powerful people, and by gazing at their picture we help, or we, I'm sorry to use the word, we beg, we pray for their energy, and the energy happens to us. That's how hundreds and hundreds of years, just by having a Krishna or Rama picture and praying to that with a full belief that this Rama or Krishna picture is going to give you the good health and lot of good blessings, people have evolved with lot of success. Bhakti Marga is one of the very easiest successful marga. While if you go into this Raja Yoga Marga, you are quite independent. You are not having the extra instruments like Rama or Krishna carrying you and helping you. And Raja Yoga or the meditation is the one where you use the meditation yourself, and so you are the master, learn from a proper master, use the proper technique, and use your own biomagnetism to reach it. The advantage is it gives you a lot of independence. It gives you a kind of not dependence, and it can be securely spread across the universe. And Maharishi is quite interested in getting into these kind of good Raja Yoga Marga than Bhakti Yoga Marga, because it's easy to convince the people. You can speak it in Palestine, you can take it to Gaza, you can take it to Greenland, you can take it to UK, US without any inheritance, because Maharishi's aim is to have a world peace. So Bhakti Yoga is the one what you are seeing, where we are getting the biomagnetism by believing the God in the form of picture, while Raja Yoga is the one where you believe yourself, and you as a vehicle to get into that absolute space, amalgamation with the God, and make yourself as a God. It's individual's choice. Both have got its own goodness. Practicing Raja Yoga is a bit challenging. If you are a bit skeptical, it will take long time to reach. If the karmic imprints are very strong, it won't allow us just like that to practice the Raja Yoga. But as you practice, you will feel that it automatically blossoms. That's what the definition of enlightenment is. Understanding the purpose of life, understanding the goal of life, and getting out of the sufferings is the actual definition for sufferings or enlightenment. So that can happen by various methods, while the Raja Yoga always scores a touch more than Bhakti Yoga or Karma Yoga, in my view, because that's my own personal experience.
May I say my experience?
Yes, please.
So when Swamiji initiated me way back in 87 June, I still remember he gave me both Sparsh Diksha and Chakshu Diksha. And I don't know, a lot of times I just visualize, or it automatically comes in front of me, his face when he gave me the Chakshu Diksha, because he asked me to open my eyes, and then he literally looked into my eyes, and the radiant face that he had, I still remember that. And I can't ever forget that. So I don't know, maybe that is still supplying or nourishing my life force and belief in his system, or whatever you call it, you know. But the other thing is one more thing that maybe you can answer or concur with me if I'm right, that there is third way of giving Diksha is by thought. When the master is not in the proximity of your physical body, then the master can give Diksha also by thought from a distance. And that is possible only for those who are realized masters. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely possible. Yeah, we can give easily Diksha just by thought. Yeah, that's how the biomagnetism works. Biomagnetism has no boundaries, not just the earth, not just our universe. It goes all the way up to Big Bang or beyond Big Bang. Yeah.
May I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Can you expand a little bit on how the Muladhara chakra has to do with insomnia, or how to better the insomnia by meditating into the Muladhara chakra, please?
Okay, so what is mentioned in that slide is, if somebody got a Diksha for the Agda meditation, if they go on doing the Agda meditation in a overzealously increased manner, which is not seen that commonly. In UK, especially, if you initiate Agna meditation in our practice, if 20 people are getting initiated, maybe 1 out of 20 may get this problem of headache, increased biomagnetic accumulation in the mind or brain, whatever you say, or higher chakras, and that results in discomfort, lightheadedness, and leading to insomnia, which is like increased awakeness. Of course, this increased awareness can be used in a fruitful way. That's a different question. But somebody who are quite early in their journey, they will feel that inability to sleep as something a very dangerous thing. And that is the reason Maharishi always given the Shanti Davam along with the Agna initiation, so that they can do the Shanti Davam to equalize or equilibrize the biomagnetism to all the chakras. And even for a good seasoned practitioner, it's always safe to do Shanti Davam at least once in a week. And usual advice what we give here is every Friday, where you try to focus on the Muladhara Chakra, because normally we don't want to focus a lot on Muladhara Chakra. We know that Muladhara Chakra, what pins you to the earth and the seat of all the earthly things and wishes, sexuality, etc. So we want to go to the higher chakras, while this focusing on Muladhara Chakra will result in equilibrium of the body biomagnetism, and that results in relieving pressure on the higher chakras, results in that particular person to have a good recovery from headache and good recovery from insomnia. So this is only for the early stages, I will say. Once somebody is able to practice maybe for 2 to 3 years comfortably, they will be able to handle this biomagnetism quite comfortably. And it's like somebody learning the bicycle. Initially, at least for a few months, you should drive only with both the hands on the handlebar. But then when you're comfortable, you may be able to drive without holding the handlebar. Like that, the Shanti meditation is not necessary for a seasoned practitioner.
Thank you.
Dr. Ananda, thank you for your detailed presentations.
Thank you.
So I want to express my views, 1 or 2 points here. In Shanti meditation, as you told, it's balancing all the energy of all the other chakras. But another important point is Swamiji mentioned, it is transforming the energy in the Muladhara Chakra into energy of physical body and mental body. So while doing Shanti meditation, the energy is transforming into physical and mental body. That is the important point Swamiji stresses. And another point, what I understand, the difference between the Raja Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. In Bhakti Yoga, we are concentrating our mind on particular figure or ideal or statue like that. But in Jnana Yoga, we are expanding our mind into waves, subtle waves, and then to the absolute space. So there is a clear difference between Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is focusing or concentrating our mind on a particular ideal. But in Jnana Yoga, we are expanding our mind to the or till absolute space.
Okay.
That point I understand. And another important point, as you told, your points are very correct, but the intensification of biomagnetism. In lamp gazing, we are concentrating our mind on the edge of the flame. In lamp gazing, only on the edge of the flame on a particular point. But in mirror gazing, we are focusing our whole body. But in both the practices, we are getting energy from the universal field only, not at all within our body. Both in lamp gazing and mirror gazing, we are receiving energy from the universal field. Yes, Maharishi's point of view. I think this is my idea.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Time to conclude. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, to conclude. Thank you so much, Anand Maraya, for a wonderful speech and brought into great knowledge about different meditation today with a new perspective always when we talk about meditation, which is really great. If you have any questions, everybody, so please you can chat in our WhatsApp group. It is very thankful today with our blessings. May the world be blessed with plenty of rain. The farmers work to produce an abundance of grain. Let practitioners of all prosper, flourish, and grow. And culture progress through the need to share and grow. Let the rulers be beyond feelings of anger or fear. Illiteracy, poverty, and all evils made to disappear. Let the true lamp of knowledge burn steady and bright. A sense of duty guide us along. That's always right. உலகமெல்லாம் பருவமழை ஒத்தபடி பெய்யட்டும், உழவரெல்லாம் தானியத்தை ஒப்புடனே பெருக்கட்டும், பல தொழில்கள் புரிகின்ற பாட்டாளி உயரட்டும், பகுத்துணர்வில் தொகுத்துணர்வு பண்பாட்டை உயர்த்தட்டும், கலகங்கள் போட்டி பகை கடந்தாட்சி நடக்கட்டும், கல்லாமை கடமர்மை கலகங்கள் மறையட்டும், நலவாழ்வை அளிக்கும் நெய் ஞான ஒளி வீசட்டும், நம் கடமை அறவாழ்வின் நாட்டத்தே சிறக்கட்டும், நம் கடமை அறவாழ்வின் நாட்டத்தே சிறக்கட்டும், நம் கடமை அறவாழ்வின் நாட்டத்தே சிறக்கட்டும். வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வளமுடன். தேங்க்யூ. வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
வாழ்க வளமுடன்.